Boston to Philadelphia to Colorado. And Shazzy's like, this is going to tell me who the Giants are. This road trip's going to tell me who they are. I'm like, you know what? I'm with you. Who are they? Can they play with the big boys? Well, you go to Boston, you get undressed, you get outclassed, you lose 2 or 3. You're lucky to salvage a game in that series. You go to Philadelphia for 4. You get swept. You lose Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And really, you weren't even competitive. You weren't even in these games.
I didn't believe they were winning any of those games at any point.
No, you just got outclassed. Logan Webb had a horrible road trip. But then you look at the lineup that Farhan has put together. And we're all excited about it. But you know what? We saw last year's lineup. And there was nothing to be excited about. This lineup right now, there's nothing to be excited about. Jung-Hoo Lee, sure, I'm signing me up for that. But Jung-Hoo Lee is the 7th hitter on the Phillies. He's batting 7th on the Phillies. He's batting 8th on the Dodgers. That's a guy we need to bat leadoff or 3rd. Think about that. Soler, not doing a damn thing. And so now, with Farhan being in year number 6, right? Year 6, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is year 6 of Farhan Zaidi. Now, at least by the time John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan got to year 6, there are Super Bowl appearances and NFC title game appearances and division championships. They've had 1 year under Farhan Zaidi. 1! And when I think about the one word to describe the Giants, and I'm saying deflated, because I'm out of answers. Tim Kurtzer says that he's been a good executive for a long time, Farhan Zaidi. I would love to see it. What has he been good at? Supposedly supposed to be great at developing a farm system. That hasn't been done. You're supposed to be able to court free agents, get them to play here. That hasn't been done. Instead, you rip on the city and blame the city on why you can't get free agents, which is a no-no. All right? You do that. You hire Bob Melvin, a manager that, you know what, let's be honest. Most Giants fans were not happy about that. They were not excited about that because we've seen Bob Melvin manage the A's. We've seen him manage the Mariners. We've seen him manage the Diamondbacks. He's been everywhere. The Padres. And then we all thought, well, damn, how come the Padres couldn't win? What is Bob Melvin doing? So you hire Bob Melvin, who was a lukewarm hire. Let's face it. Okay, he played here. He's from here. That's all good. Bay Area guy. That's all great. I'm trying to win damn baseball games. I don't care what neighborhood you're from. I'm trying to win baseball games. Give me guys here who can manage this team and manage wins. Right now, you can't do that. You're worse than you were last year at this point. Your ERA is bloated. Your lineup's not hitting. Farhan Zaidi, look, the seat's got to be warming up at some point because he doesn't work the room. He doesn't look like he can lead a franchise. I'm sorry, but I'm long-winded here, but
you're passionate. You're wearing Giants gear from head to toe right now. Follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. You can see them all decked out. You love this team.
Carter, Matt, I'm trying to get excited about this damn baseball team.
How can you? They're not giving you an opportunity to.
Baseball or operations, Farhan Zaidi has not presented us with an exciting roster.
No.
It's sad.
And you know what? Again, I hate to just be comparing them to, but I have to. I have to compare them with what else is in the market right now, and they are playing live sports right now. And I would rather discuss and talk about the Warriors offseason and hypotheticals and what the Niners are going to do with Ricky Pearsall. Yeah. Is Brandon Ayuk going to be a 49er still? Debo Samuel, Brock Purdy, can he make that other jump? Is he going to regress? All that sort of stuff. Rather than watch an actual sport, a live sport. That is what we're talking about here. We are dying to get our audience captured by something, even your Magic. Now it's done. That's done. The whole thing always kind of pissed me off anyways, because you insinuated that it took some sort of magic for your team to be good, rather than actual, just developing, drafting and signing players. No, that was what Giants baseball was. You had elite pitching from top to bottom. Yeah. You had timely hitting, but you had at least one aspect of the game that you knew you could always fall back on.
But you also had guys who you could approach.
You had guys that were faces. You had Tim Lincecum, Sergio Romo, Javi Lopez, who you were just talking to me about. A guy like that who's always just business mentality. Brian Wilson.
But even the guys in the front office, Madone.
Yes.
Guys who can work the room.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that's important? John Lynch working the room. Why is John Lynch universally loved? Just put on the presser.
Approachable.
Smiles, approachable. He may not say a damn thing for 30 minutes.
Pat McAfee last week. He was great.
Bob Myers, personable. guys who work the room. Bob Myers could give you 10 minutes of fluff, and I love Bob. He may take a question, not answer anything, but he
Bob's
makes
the
it
best.
sound good.
Bob's the best. Wow, that's actually a really good question. I haven't thought about it like that. I mean, yeah, when you do think about it like that, that's a great question, Bonte. How's your day going?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it would be half the time.
But
that's fine.
Room.
Yes.
They have a presence.
Yes.
They have a command.
Almost like a politician in a way where you have to be able to, sell me, right? What was Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort?
Yep.
Sell me this pen.
Sell me this pen.
Hey, Farhan, sell me on the Giants. How do you sell me on this team right now?
Yep.
How would he even answer that?
Yep.
And I'm not going to do a Farhan impersonation because it goes to Krusty the Clown and all this other stuff. But it's just the culture. I keep going back to that word because I don't know what their mindset is.
The culture's broken. The culture's broken.
There is none.
When you take time out to not necessarily get rid of everything that's happened with the Giants organization, but when you hide away the Willie Mazes, you hide away the pennants, you hide away the banners, that was a thing. Players told me, it's like, yeah, this was taken away.
Why would they even do that?
I don't know. Why? If you're a young kid, you're coming into the Giants clubhouse, don't you want to see the World Series?
So in the clubhouse, no, real quick.
I heard it's back.
Okay.
But I heard they basically got rid of that stuff for a while and covered it up. So basically, yeah, we're not going to show anything about that.
Why would they do that?
I don't know why they would do that.
Are they embarrassed because their level of play is not up to snuff?
I tell you what should be embarrassing for Farhan and the Giants is that the Oakland A's, who are literally not trying to win baseball games.
Major League Part 4.
They signed 3 of your former players at Ross Stripling, Alex Wood, and J.D. Davis, and they have a better record, and they're more entertaining than you, and they got 1 foot out the door. They're not even trying to win.
They don't even have a home. It's the Sacramento A's of Las Vegas playing in Oakland is what I call them right now. Alex Wood, by the way, I sent it to the chat yesterday, Crickets. Alex Wood against the defending champion Texas Rangers in Oakland yesterday. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks. It's just, even when they leave, they're doing better.
So I just asked, it is bad, but we're 36 games into the season. 36 games into the season, Giants fans. I think it's a good barometer right now. 36 games into the season. You're on this 10-game road trip. You're 1-6 on the 10-game road trip. Going to Coors Field. Where are we at with Farhan Zaidi? Where are we at? Is the seat warming up for Farhan Zaidi? Where are we at with Farhan? As we look at this line, look at the numbers Spinotti in this lineup. This is depressing. Looks like my fantasy baseball team.
Do I have to?
No, yeah, let's go.
My fantasy baseball team is actually like the Giants right now. It's horrible. It's bad. The Giants right now are closer to the Colorado Rockies than they are to the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's where the barometer should not be, man, I want to get on the Dodgers level. So no, can I not be the Colorado Rockies is where they are at right now. I'm looking at the landscape of the National League. It's the Marlins who just traded their best player. They're tanking. They just fired their GM last year. They don't know what they're doing. You got them, then you got the Rockies, and then it's the Giants. The Cardinals, who have been awful for most of this year, they have 1 fewer loss than you do. They're 15-20, and they're in last place in the National League Central right now. So I'm looking at the landscape of not only baseball, but specifically your league and the National League. And I'm looking at the Diamondbacks ahead of me. They got young studs to be impressed about. Corbin Carroll amongst one of them. The San Diego Padres, they got a plethora of stars. Tatis, Machado, now Arias. And then the Dodgers, don't get me started on them. But even just in the National League Central, the Cardinals, I know what the Cardinals are about, Bonte. They're about developing, and they will find guys.
Well, but I'm looking at the Cubs and the Brewers, who have catapulted the Giants and all these teams that have developed. The Pirates. These guys are developing talent. The Cubs are a must-watch
Nationals.
team. The Brewers are a must-watch team. These guys are developing talent. But I'm just looking at the Giants lineup before we get back out to the calls. Jung-Hoo Lee would be the 7th hitter on the Philadelphia Phillies. He's a leadoff guy. Tyro Estrada, 0 for 4 yesterday, would bat 8th on the Phillies or the Dodgers. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. Lamont Wade Jr. is batting 3rd with the Giants, and he's having a stellar season. Batting .347, but he's your 3-hole hitter with 1 home run and 8 RBIs. He would bat 8th on the Philadelphia Phillies. All right, let's be real. That's our 3-hole hitter right now. And I'm not trying to rip on Lamont Wade Jr. Again, he's having a solid season, but he's also got 1 home run and 8 RBIs, and he's batting 3rd on the San Francisco Giants. All right, that's our 3-hole hitter.
Late night Lamont?
Late night Lamont. Matt Chapman, we talked about him with the hat trick yesterday.
How do you get a nickname when he had 1 good season? I'm sorry.
That's what we do in San Francisco.
What are we doing here?
That's where the Giants are at. Let's go to Richie in Queens. Richie, where you at with Farhan, man? 888-957-9570. Giants right now just look bad. Look really, really bad. What's up, Richie?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Oh, I'd say you guys are so much on the money. I am just appalled what's happening. You know, we spoke before. We had our hopes up getting Salah, Chapman is a disgrace at this point.
Huh.
You know, I was listening to Hunter Pence yesterday, and I love those guys, listening, and Hunter's always so positive. And he said that Chapman fouled off a ball and just missed it, and maybe that can turn him around. You know, and I understand you've got to be positive when you're announcing these games, but I was with my brother. I said, you believe the highlight of that is what he just said. And like you mentioned, the lineup, I mean, our most consistent hitter up until yesterday has been Estrada. We're getting nothing from the shortstop. I'm very disappointed with Lee. You know, our pitching has not. We've got 4 guys in the bullpen that are decent. I love Miller. Duvall's been coming around.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Rogers brothers. You can't get to them.
Nope.
You just can't. When you're scoring 3 runs a game in this league, you know, they'll probably score 8 runs, 9 runs in Colorado and give up 11. So I don't know what's happening at this point. It's a free fall, but to watch them on a daily basis, it really is. And I mean, what is up with Chapman? You know, guys, we talked earlier, and, you know, when they signed him, Chapman had a horrendous second half. You know, he fell off the cliff like JD. I don't know what Chapman is at 31 years old. He cannot catch up to Walker the other day at 92 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, what is happening here? So, yeah, totally agree. And look, you know, with 3 wild card, you're never really out of it until maybe later. But the way they're going, and to face, you know, teams like the Brewers, the Cubs, obviously the Phillies, and then you got the 2 teams in the West. Maybe the Mets come around. The Nationals are 17 and 17.
There you go, Richie. Richie.
So are you getting grief over there? And are they on the general manager?
They should be.
Yeah,
they should
we're
be,
trying,
Richie.
We're trying to create that.
Well, we're not going to create. Look, I'm not advocating for anybody to get fired.
No.
I'm just assessing the job.
No, I'm advocating for the seat to get hot,
Right.
Bonte.
Well, the seat should have been hot. It's year 6, Matt. But he get, by the way, on the board.
No, I just listened to you guys, and one of the things that, like, I'm hearing, they went 1-6 on that road trip. To me, if you win or if you lose these games and you're fighting and you're scoring 5, 6, 7 runs, I think the biggest issue is it's how they're losing.
Not competitive.
No, they're not even competitive. They're striking out, called third strikes left and right. They're not swinging the bat. I mean, it's just like, look at the last 5 games, Spadone.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the run production is just, they don't hit with guys on base.
Nope.
There's no life.
Their last 11 games, I'll say it again, they have scored more than 3 runs one time in their last 11 games.
It's not going to cut it.
It's not.
Not when you invest this much money into the lineup. Not when you invest that money into Chapman and Soler and not get the player options. But hell, if I'm Matt Chapman, I'm already opting in. He's batting 209, putting all the pressure. He's second in the league in errors. So you bring him in for defense, and he's not playing defense. You hope you get power. And I always thought, and I know he had the finger injury last year, but I was like, damn, he only hit 17 jacks and had 40 RBIs in that Toronto lineup.
Yeah.
Now he's being miscast as a 3 or 4 hitter in the Giants lineup. So now that's not going to work out.
I mean,
you got no shot. You got no shot at competing in this division if Matt Chapman is your 3 or 4 hitter. And I'm not trying to rip Chapman.
No.
He's a 6-hole hitter.
But you saw him when he was in the Oakland A's. And who did we say in that lineup was the guy? It was always Matt Olson. Matt Olson, Sean Murphy was that dude as a catcher. You had guys left and right that could hit, could smash. And Chapman was the glove, and he would hit occasionally. You had Marcus Simeon on that squad. Like, of all the guys you wanted there, it's now come to the realization that Matt Chapman was probably on the bottom of that list.
No, he was.
And he fumbled the bag, by the way. I think the A's offered him like $150 million.
Well, by the way, if I got to see another Austin Slater at bat this season, I'm going to lose my mind. We all went crazy over Yaz. Austin Slater pinch hit again yesterday, struck out. Just wasn't even competitive in the at-bat.
Meanwhile, Heliot Ramos continues to crush lefties down in Sacramento. He's hitting over 400 against them. We're talking about how terrible this lineup is. Give us a spark of some sort. Like, call up Ramos. Like, could he really be any worse than what we're seeing from Austin Slater right now?
And that's a big league ballpark out in Sacramento, as we all know.
Well, we're starting to see, and then Jorge Soler. In a season full of disappointments, Jorge Soler, he gets signed because he hits the big, 36 home runs last year, and it's all fine and dandy in Miami. You know what, But But really,
They were a playoff team last year. Yeah.
Really, Jorge Soler, you take away 2 seasons. 2019, when he hit the 48 jacks from Kansas City. Nobody was watching the Royals at that point. And he hit his 36 last year. You look at his career, he's been hurt. He hasn't played more than, he's only played more than 100. How about this with Jorge Soler? 3 times in his career. He's been in the big league since 2014.
Kind of crazy. He's been in the league that long.
He's played more than 100 games 3 times. 101 2015. 2019, he played 162. 2023, he played 137. Now he hasn't had starting roles. He's been benched. He's played over 100 games 3 times in his career. Now he's hurt again. And only twice in his career has Jorge Soler hit more than 14 home runs. Twice in his career, he's hit more than 14 home runs, Jorge Soler. 36 last year, 48 back in 2019.
The problem,
and that's what we're banking on. Spadoni is your cleanup hitter. Jorge Soler, who's hit twice, he's had more than 14 home runs in a season.
What would you do, Bonte, if I gave you the GM hat, the president of baseball ops right now? If I said you're the guy right now, what would be the first move you would make right now to try to better this roster and this team? What would it be?
Cutting Farhan Zaidi.
Okay.
I need a new philosophy.
Okay.
I need a shift in the philosophy. The philosophy of this baseball team is not working out. It's not going to do anything to beat the Dodgers, to beat the Braves, to beat the Diamondbacks, to beat the Padres. The philosophy stinks. The philosophy is broken. Why do mid-tier players come out and rip this team left and right? Rodon, he gave us all the tea leaves about what was going on out here.
J.D. Davis. Alex Wood. The list goes, Ross Stripling. The list goes on and on.
And I don't think those guys are major Hall of Famers or anything like that. But they're talking about it. And other guys are talking about it.
Remember before the season, or right when it started, there was that weird, and Sam, maybe you can explain this better to me, because there was that whole qualifying offer contract dispute with J.D. Davis getting skimped out of some money. You remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I'm not really sure what was going on behind the scenes there that led to that. All I know is that basically they kind of, the whole arbitration battle, it was a matter of, I think, less than $1 million. They were apart, and basically there's a deadline that both sides need to submit figures by, and the Giants submitted a number. They didn't get a response back from Davis's camp, and then Davis's camp eventually did respond, but it was after the deadline, so the Giants were like, sorry, we got to take this to arbitration. They let Davis win, essentially, but then they cut him to save some money, and basically what I boil it down to is they basically cut J.D. Davis to save $2 to $3 million,
which is not a becoming of an organization like the San Francisco Giants. And well put, Sam.
It's minor league-ish.
It is.
It's
small
Bush League, and it's just, the fact you're going to nickel and dime a player like that, who again, I'm not going to sit here and say that J.D. Davis is the greatest third baseman on the planet. Year. He had a great first half last year. I thought it was borderline all-star last year. He faded in the second half, but you didn't need to do him dirty like that. And it's just, other players noticed that. Other players noticed, the Giants, they are like, it was way too cold and calculating. They are a numbers team first. They do not care about the players. That's the image that I got from it. I don't know if it's that extreme, but contrast that to the Brian Sabian years where they were all about treating the players as a priority no matter what. And so, stuff like that, it does get around, and it does put an unfortunate stain on the Giants when Farhan's there.
And now Brian Sabian last night got inducted into the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame as an executive with the Giants. Now, this is laughable with the way things are run by the Giants. Brian Sabian has yet to be put on the Wall of Fame. How's he not on the Wall of Fame yet?
That's a joke.
How is he not on the Wall of Fame? Because he is the best executive this organization has ever had. He's not on the Wall of Fame, so he gets inducted to the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame. And everybody universally loved Brian Sabian. Chris Berman was his presenter. Bob Sargent, what up, Sarge? Was down there. Great friends with Brian Sabian.
Is Save still working with the Yankees right now as a consultant?
Yep.
They're doing pretty well.
Javi Lopez in the building. All right, you had some big shots in the building representing Jeremy Affeldt. You had Bobby Evans in the building. A lot of guys universally love Brian Sabian. Guy can work the room, which is what we talked about, but he did what he had to do as an executive, and he built some juggernaut teams out here in San Francisco, whether it was 97, 98, 99, 00, 97 to 03, or the championship seasons when you win 3 World Series in 5 years. And a contrast to Farhan Zaidi and the way he's put together this roster. Now, I don't believe he's signed his extension yet. I believe it's still on the table, right?
That's the last I heard, yes.
So it's some weird things going on with that. Weird things going on with that.
If I'm the Giants, I do not bring him back at all. If there's an opening to get out of the Farhan Zaidi era, we want to call it, let's end that right now and start clean, start fresh.